Welcome back to my YouTube channel, everyone, to another exciting episode where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins. And today's story will absolutely blow your mind because we're talking about the 2002 D1 cent coin that has stunned collectors and experts across the globe by reaching an unbelievable value of $14 million due to its incredible errors, rare minting mistakes, and mysterious features that make it a true legend in numismatic history. And as we unfold its story, you'll see how something as small as a single cent can turn into a multi-million-dollar treasure just because of the fascinating imperfections that happened during its creation. The 2002 D penny, minted at the Denver Mint, might look like any ordinary Lincoln cent at first glance, with the familiar copper-plated zinc composition featuring the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But when you look closer, the magic begins to reveal itself through a combination of minting anomalies and rare errors that transformed this coin from a simple piece of change into one of the most sought-after rarities in modern coin collecting. One of the most striking features of this extraordinary penny is the double-die obverse error, where Lincoln's profile, the date, and even the mint mark show visible doubling under magnification, making the design appear shadowed or slightly offset, a minting defect that occurs when the coin die receives multiple misaligned impressions during its creation, causing the engraved details to appear twice. And collectors always pay huge premiums for such errors because they are visually distinct and impossible to reproduce intentionally. Another fascinating element that adds to its rarity is the off-center strike, where the design is not properly aligned within the coin's circular border, and in this 2002 D specimen, the misalignment was so significant that part of the "In God We Trust" motto was cut off along with a small portion of Lincoln's face, giving it an instantly recognizable and unique appearance that makes it stand out among millions of standard strikes. On top of that, there are also signs of a die crack running across Lincoln's shoulder toward the rim, forming what collectors call a die break or cudder error, where part of the die broke during the minting process, causing raised metal on the coin's surface that looks like a lump or ridge. And such errors often make coins one of a kind because no two die cracks are ever identical, making this particular penny even more special. Now, what makes the 2002 D cent even more mysterious is that some experts believe there are composition anomalies in this batch, suggesting that a few planchets may have been struck using leftover or mismatched materials, possibly bronze blanks from earlier years or test strikes that accidentally entered the production line. And that theory has intrigued collectors because such off-metal strikes are among the rarest and most valuable of all minting errors. Imagine having a 2002 D penny that, instead of being the regular copper-plated zinc composition, actually contains a higher copper content or even a slightly different alloy, creating not only a color variation but also a difference in weight, which can be verified with a sensitive scale and makes those examples even more desirable to serious numismatists. The Denver Mint, known for its massive production runs, has occasionally produced some of the most famous and costly mint error coins in U.S. history, and the 2002 D penny is a prime example of how even a high-output mint can produce incredibly rare treasures when just a small mechanical malfunction or human oversight occurs in the minting process. Collectors are particularly fascinated by the combination of visible doubling, off-center striking, die cracks, and possibly even lamination peeling, where a thin layer of the coin's surface separates or flakes off, revealing different metal tones underneath, because each of these factors alone can add hundreds or thousands to a coin's value. But when they all appear together in one coin, as in this remarkable 2002 D specimen, it becomes a numismatic jackpot worth millions. The estimated $14 million price tag associated with this penny doesn't come just from the rarity of the errors themselves but also from the story behind its discovery, as it was reportedly found in ordinary circulation by a sharp-eyed collector who noticed the unusual doubling and off-center strike, proving that sometimes the most valuable treasures are still hiding in plain sight among our everyday pocket change. Over the years, several similar 2002 D error coins have surfaced, but none have matched the dramatic combination of features that make this one so legendary, and that has sparked debates among collectors and experts about whether this coin was part of a small batch of experimental strikes, a test of new die settings, or simply an accidental masterpiece born from a perfect storm of minting mistakes. There are even whispers among collectors that this coin may have been struck using a misaligned press that caused multiple die clashes, where the die struck each other without a planchet in between, transferring parts of the design from one die to the other and leaving faint ghost-like impressions on the coin's surface, and that theory could explain the faint outlines and overlapping textures seen under magnification. Each layer of mystery adds more excitement and value because collectors aren't just buying a coin, they're buying a story, a piece of minting history that defied the odds and survived through production, circulation, and discovery. The eye appeal of this penny is another major factor behind its astronomical price, as the luster, color tone, and condition play a huge role in how it's perceived in the collector's market, and this particular 2002 D coin was reportedly found in near-mint state with full details visible, minimal wear, and brilliant surfaces that make its errors even more dramatic to the naked eye. When a coin with this level of preservation and unique error combination appears, auction houses know it can spark bidding wars among elite collectors, museums, and investors who recognize that such coins not only hold historical significance but also perform as incredible long-term assets, with their value often increasing over time as public interest and scarcity grow. The coin collecting community thrives on discoveries like these because they remind everyone that even in a modern minting era dominated by machines and precision technology, human error and mechanical imperfection still have the power to create treasures that transcend their humble face value. The 2002 D penny's value has become a symbol of how rarity, condition, and curiosity can combine to create something priceless, and each feature, from the doubling on the date to the off-center strike, from the die crack to the possible wrong planchette composition, tells a story of how an everyday coin turned into a once-in-a-lifetime phenomenon. People who have studied this coin under microscopes have noted microscopic irregularities around the rim, uneven reading impressions, and traces of die polishing lines, all of which suggest that the die used to strike this coin had gone through multiple maintenance cycles, further adding to the theory that this particular coin was struck late in the die's life when deterioration was at its peak, enhancing the likelihood of visible errors. This combination of technical and visual flaws gives the coin a character that no machine could ever intentionally reproduce, and that authenticity is what drives collectors wild. Today, stories of this penny continue to inspire treasure hunters, hobbyists, and everyday people to check their spare change because history has shown again and again that even a simple cent can hide unimaginable value if it bears the right errors and the right story. The 2002 D penny worth $14 million is not just a piece of metal, it's a living reminder that imperfection can be priceless, that the tiniest details can change destiny, and that sometimes the most extraordinary things can come from the most ordinary places. So the next time you find a 2002 D penny in your pocket, take a closer look because who knows, you might be holding another miracle of minting, another piece of American coinage history waiting to be rediscovered, and who can say, maybe the next fortune in your hand is hiding behind that tiny copper shine of one small cent that tells the biggest story of all. Next, 1987 D 1 cent USA coin, everyone to another exciting deep dive into the fascinating world of rare coins and unbelievable discoveries that have shocked the numismatic community and collectors worldwide. Today we're uncovering the jaw-dropping story of the 1987 D 1 cent coin that's making headlines for being worth an astonishing $12 million due to its incredible errors, minting mistakes, and the unbelievable rarity that has turned this tiny copper-colored coin into one of the most sought-after treasures in American coin history, a story that proves even a single cent can become a fortune when the right mix of historical context, minting anomaly, and collector demand come together to create something truly extraordinary. When we talk about the 1987 D penny, most people imagine an ordinary Lincoln cent minted in Denver, produced by the millions and circulating across the country without any special attention, but this particular coin is no ordinary penny, it's a piece that embodies mystery, rarity, and a perfect storm of minting blunders that has fascinated experts and collectors for decades. Because what makes this coin so valuable isn't just one error, it's a combination of multiple overlapping mistakes that occurred during production, resulting in a one-of-a-kind specimen that defies logic and makes even seasoned numismatists stare in disbelief. The 1987 D 1 cent coin was struck at the Denver Mint during a period when the U.S. Mint was transitioning and fine-tuning its copper-plated zinc planchets, which were introduced after 1982 to replace the original solid copper cents, and during that time, slight inconsistencies in the plating process often led to coins with missing or peeling copper layers, exposure of the zinc core, or odd coloration that would later become hallmarks of collectible error coins, but in this specific $12 million penny, the situation went far beyond a simple plating flaw. Upon examination, experts discovered that this coin features an extraordinary double die obverse, meaning the front side where Abraham Lincoln's portrait appears was struck twice, but slightly off alignment, producing a dramatic doubling effect on the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1987, with the mint mark also slightly shadowed, creating a ghost-like appearance that immediately grabs attention. What makes it even rarer is that the reverse side, showing the Lincoln Memorial, was struck off-center by nearly 10%, causing part of the design to be cut off while still showing crisp detail, a combination of errors that's rarely ever seen on the same coin, and that's only the beginning. Further metallurgical analysis suggested that this particular penny may have been struck on a transitional planchet, possibly one intended for a foreign coin or a leftover blank from another denomination, because the weight of the coin didn't match the standard 2.5 grams of a typical zinc penny, but came in slightly heavier, around 3.1 grams, reminiscent of the pre-year 1982 copper cents, which instantly raised eyebrows and fueled speculation that this coin was a mint experiment or an accidental hybrid produced during a changeover in materials, something that happens so rarely it's almost mythical. Collectors also pointed out micro details like die cracks, cuds, and weak strikes around Lincoln's shoulder and the rim near the date, which add even more layers of intrigue, since these defects indicate a worn or damaged die was used, possibly rushed through production before it was replaced, further proving that this coin was born in a perfect storm of minting chaos that makes it one of the most complex and beautiful error coins ever documented. Some experts believe that the coin may have been struck multiple times with different pressures, causing subtle distortions in Lincoln's portrait, giving it a three-dimensional effect under certain lighting, almost like a hologram, and it's these unique visual distortions that have made this penny a sensation among collectors who see it not just as currency, but as a work of art created by mistake. Adding to its mystery, this particular specimen was reportedly found in a roll of coins by a collector in Colorado decades after its production, completely unaware of its significance until it was examined by a professional grading service that authenticated it and gave it one of the highest rarity designations ever assigned to a modern error cent. The fact that it survived in such pristine condition without being damaged in circulation adds to its mind-boggling value, because condition, as any collector knows, is everything when it comes to rare coins, and this one was nearly flawless despite being more than 3 decades old. The combination of these factors, double die obverse, off-center reverse, possible transitional metal composition, visible die cracks, and uncirculated condition, turned what was once just another penny into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece that tells a story of human error, machine imperfection, and the unpredictable magic of minting. When such a coin surfaces, the numismatic world takes notice, and the price skyrockets because collectors compete fiercely to own a piece of minting history that will likely never be repeated. Some theorize that this coin may have been struck during a test run at the Denver Mint when calibrating presses for the following year's production, which could explain its combination of old metal composition and modern design features, while others think it may have been created when a leftover copper planchet from 1982 was accidentally fed into the press and struck with 1987 dies, creating a transitional error that bridges 2 eras of US coinage, making it priceless. Even the faint details on the reverse where the columns of the Lincoln Memorial seem slightly stretched add an eerie artistic touch, giving the coin a surreal look that has captivated collectors online and in auction houses alike. The market for rare pennies has exploded in recent years, with collectors paying record prices for anything that tells a story, and this 1987 cent stands at the top of that list because it embodies everything a collector dreams of: rarity, beauty, mystery, and the thrill of discovery. The $12 million valuation may sound insane for a coin with a face value of 1 cent, but when you realize there's likely only one of its kind in existence, authenticated and verified, it makes perfect sense, because rarity is what drives value in the world of collectibles, and this coin's unique set of overlapping minting errors make it one of the most exceptional pieces ever to emerge from a US mint. Some collectors have speculated that there may be other similar coins hidden in old rolls or forgotten jars, just waiting to be discovered, which keeps the excitement alive and the treasure hunt going among enthusiasts everywhere. The idea that an ordinary penny in your pocket could be worth millions has inspired countless people to check their change, and the story of this 1987 coin serves as a reminder that treasures can be found in the most unexpected places. It's not just about the money, it's about the history, the mystery, and the connection to a moment in time when an error created a legend. The coin has been featured in major coin shows, discussed by grading experts, and documented in collector journals, each time adding to its aura and legacy. It's a symbol of how even a tiny imperfection can lead to perfection in value, and how what was once dismissed as a flaw can turn into a fortune. The Denver Mint's reputation for precision makes the existence of this coin even more shocking, proving that even the most advanced systems can produce miracles of chance. With its combination of errors, rarity, and condition, the 1987 D1 coin stands as a testament to the unpredictability of minting and the enduring fascination of collectors worldwide, reminding us that sometimes the smallest things carry the greatest stories, and in this case, that story is worth $12 million. Last 1994 1-cent USA coin, everyone to another exciting video where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins that have turned ordinary pocket change into unbelievable treasures, and today we're talking about the astonishing story of the 1994 1-cent coin that shocked collectors around the world by being valued at an incredible $10 million due to its rare minting errors, fascinating production anomalies, and the mysterious circumstances that surround its creation, making it one of the most valuable pennies ever known to exist in numismatic history, a true masterpiece of mistake that transformed from a simple copper-plated zinc coin into a symbol of luck, rarity, and human error. Now, at first glance, the 1994 penny looks like any other Lincoln cent you might find jingling around in your pocket, but upon closer inspection, certain examples have revealed jaw-dropping mistakes that defy explanation, and these errors are what separate a regular coin worth 1 cent from a collector's dream worth millions. One of the most talked about errors involves a double die obverse, where the front of the coin shows Abraham Lincoln's image slightly doubled, particularly noticeable in the inscriptions such as Liberty and the date 1994, making the coin appear as if it was struck twice, a result of die misalignment during the minting process, which in itself is rare, but when combined with other errors on the same coin, it skyrockets in value. Another factor contributing to the 1994 penny's astronomical worth is the off-center strike error, where the design is shifted from its intended position, leaving part of the coin blank or incomplete, a phenomenon that draws the fascination of collectors because it represents an authentic mishap from the mint, a rare occurrence that escaped quality control and found its way into circulation. What makes these coins even more special is when these errors occur together. Imagine a coin that has a double die, an off-center strike, and even a misaligned reverse where the Lincoln Memorial on the back doesn't properly align with the obverse image, creating a surreal and mesmerizing effect that instantly distinguishes it from any ordinary penny. Some experts believe that a small number of 1994 pennies were struck using damaged dies, which caused unusual patterns or die cracks across the surface, forming raised lines or ridges that appear like lightning bolts or veins spreading across Lincoln's portrait, and such unique die breaks are one of a kind, meaning no two error coins look exactly alike, and this exclusivity adds tremendous value to collectors who hunt for the rarest anomalies. There have even been rumors of 1994 pennies made with planchette errors, where the metal blank used was either too thin, too thick, or composed of an incorrect alloy, leading to coins that are underweight, overweight, or even discolored compared to the standard copper-plated zinc cent. And these metal composition mistakes are highly sought after because they represent failures in the manufacturing process that are almost impossible to replicate intentionally. Another mystery that adds to the allure of this $10 million penny is the possibility that some were struck using leftover dies or experimental materials from other minting years, particularly during a period when the US Mint was transitioning or testing new striking techniques, meaning that these coins might carry hidden variations that haven't yet been fully documented or understood, fueling speculation and increasing their mystique in the collector community. There are also examples reported to have broad strike errors, where the coin's rim expands outward without a proper collar, giving it a flattened or stretched appearance, making it appear larger than normal, and when such an error combines with a doubled image or a wrong planchette strike, the rarity multiplies exponentially. Furthermore, some 1994 pennies have shown die rotation errors where the reverse side is rotated relative to the obverse, creating a surreal visual when flipped, and collectors pay big money for coins that display rotation degrees beyond normal tolerance levels, with extreme examples being worth tens of thousands alone. Add to that coins with misaligned dies producing slightly tilted designs or ones missing design elements entirely due to grease-filled dies where parts of the die were clogged during striking, leading to faint or missing letters in inscriptions like "In God We Trust" or "E Pluribus Unum," and you have a combination of features that elevate an ordinary cent into a multi-million-dollar phenomenon. It's the combination of these rare mistakes, their preservation condition, and their extreme scarcity that make the 1994 1-cent coin worth up to $10 million in the eyes of passionate collectors and auction houses. The story behind its discovery also plays a role in its legendary value. Reports suggest that one of the known examples surfaced from an old collection where it was stored for decades unnoticed until a careful coin enthusiast spotted the doubling under magnification and sent it for professional grading. When graded by top-tier services like PCGS or NGC and confirmed as a unique error with multiple anomalies, the coin's estimated value soared beyond imagination, with private collectors battling to own a piece of minting history that represents a perfect storm of error, rarity, and condition. In the numismatic world, condition is everything, and a flawless or mint-state coin with clear, visible errors commands far higher premiums than one that's worn or damaged, which is why the few surviving examples of the 1994-era penny in pristine state have become holy grails among enthusiasts. The coppery luster, the sharp lines of doubling, and the irregular details all come together to create something almost artistic, a reminder that even machines designed for perfection can produce masterpieces through imperfection. Some believe the 1994 penny could also have been part of a transitional metal error, possibly struck on a leftover bronze planchette from earlier years before the full shift to zinc-based cents, which would make its composition highly unusual and scientifically verifiable by metallurgical testing, a factor that could further increase its rarity and value. Auction houses have been known to see fierce bidding wars over coins like this, as wealthy collectors and investors alike recognize the potential of owning such a piece of minting history, not only as a financial asset but as a conversation piece representing the unpredictable beauty of human error in a technological process. The fascination extends beyond the collector community to historians and mint experts who study such coins to better understand how such errors could occur in the highly controlled environment of the US Mint, and this curiosity only drives the coin's fame and price higher. Even the smallest variation, like a missing mint mark or an improperly struck D for Denver on the coin's surface, can make a massive difference in valuation, as mispunched or missing mint marks are among the rarest varieties and often indicate mistakes in die preparation. Over time, legends build around coins like this, with stories of people finding them in pocket change or in inherited collections, turning what was once a humble cent into a multi-million-dollar treasure overnight, inspiring treasure hunters everywhere to start checking their coins carefully. What's truly captivating is that despite its extraordinary value, this coin still looks deceptively ordinary to the untrained eye, making it the ultimate hidden gem in circulation. Every detail, from its texture to its alignment, tells a story of imperfection that led to unimaginable worth. The 1994 1-cent coin worth $10 million stands as proof that in numismatics, rarity born out of error can surpass all expectations, transforming what was meant to be a simple everyday object into a symbol of fortune, history, and chance. So the next time you hold a penny, especially one from 1994, take a closer look. That tiny piece of metal might carry a hidden story that could change your life forever, reminding us all that sometimes the smallest things can hold the greatest value in the most unexpected ways.